we're setting up and stuff.
Oh man, I dropped my spine.
Dad, Holly dropped her Smilax.
There's more where that came from.
That was part of the fun, it was how grumpy he did it. He said, who else can you get about having to eat all these Smilax?
Exactly. And we're hoping that Spencer, Spencer did one autograph show in Milwaukee. We had a reunion show with everybody. And I just talked to Spencer, and he's willing to do another one. If he can, he lives in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and kind of the Chicago, Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. And he said if he can drive or they can send a car for him, they'll do it. So we're working on it. So just to let you guys know.
All right, can we start bringing people up?
Stand center, yeah, line up here.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Yesterday you told me to
TYM?
Yes. You told me to bring a good question, so I hope this qualifies.
Okay.
All right. You said you had lots of fun on the show. Did you ever play practical jokes on the show?
Oh, all the time.
Oh,
All
yes,
the time.
yes.
What's your favorite one?
Tell the one about Spencer.
With the
Yes,
swamp?
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there was a scene where we were at the pond, and Spencer had gotten hold of the art department guy and had him paint a slot machine on his chest with like a lemon and a cherry.
A full slot machine with
Yeah,
that.
and Spencer was kind of a big man, so it was a full-on, old-fashioned slot machine across his chest. And he had let us in on this joke, and he was gonna, when we were taking off our clothes to dive into the pond, he was just gonna open it up, and there'd be that slot machine, we'd all on the set have a good laugh, right? Well, unbeknownst to him, Sid and Marty had the heads of NBC there that day. And our film and our video was very, very expensive by the second. And so clowning around was really a big no-no on the show. And when Spencer ever busted open his shirt like that, all hell broke loose. But you know what was the coolest thing about Spencer, and I love him for this today, is he's such a man's man, you know, he doesn't care, you know, he don't wipe the floor with Mardi Gras. He always was willing to play with us and have fun with us, and he was just he's a great
You know, and I think the reason was Spencer did not want to take his shirt off, you know, going swimming in the lagoon. And so I think in the episode, he actually has his t-shirt on.
Yeah, he has a red t-shirt.
Right, so that was the whole thing. I think it was his protest to taking his shirt off. But, no, tell that story.
What? No, I remember thinking, but it's a good one. Now, mind you, the set is, I am totally protected in this particular scene that we're doing. My mom's there, the welfare workers there, and everything, and it's Wesley. And I totally...
Do not call Child Protective Services on me. Don't do this.
It is all on the okay. But it's the scene with Brooke Bundy in it, and she's not in this particular scene, but Wesley and I wake up, we're in the cave, and we're each in our sleeping bags on cots. And Wesley's supposed to say to me, Holly, wake up. You know, Dad's gone. You know, he must be sleepwalking or something. We're supposed to get out of our sleeping bags and run into the cave and exit, you know. And he goes, Holly, he goes, wake up, Dad's gone. He goes like this and he opens up his sleeping bag and he has me get in it.
Come here, honey, come here. Kathy crosses his shoulder,
And he starts going like this with the fabric.
Oh, sure.
We all had a good laugh. It was all in good fun.
I just felt you turn on me. Oh, even the sleaze stack doesn't want to deal with me. I'm sorry, I apologize. You can eat her later. I didn't say that. You watch your thoughts, Disney.
I am surprised that Spencer didn't want to take his shirt off because on Alice, remember Alice, the Nels Diner sitcom? There's an episode of Alice where Spencer plays a nude model.
Maybe that's
You're right. Yeah, I kind of ruined this one. Maybe we should move on to the next one.
Oh, by the way, Tim with a Y. Good question.
Yes, please.
First and foremost, thank you for coming here. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. It's been a long couple of years that we needed this. You mentioned the budget on the show. How do you think that the budget, or lack thereof, influenced the show? Would more money made it better, made it worse? Were there constraints that improved the show as you were working?
That's very interesting.
I can answer that because Sid just answered that question to me. That's wow. You just asked that question. Sid said had they had a bigger budget, it wouldn't have been as good. And the reason is that they put everything on the screen. Every penny that they made, they worked at a deficit. And he said it forced them to be creative. For instance, David Gerald, for the dinosaurs, they could only afford so many seconds of dinosaurs moving. So before the show season, they would film all the dinosaurs, and then the people that wrote the scripts had to only use what had been filmed either the first year, second year, whatever, but they were limited, and it forced their creativity to be really hyper. And I think that, and he said, that's one of the reasons it's so clever, is because they had to be so clever.
And that is it's such a really good question. I can't believe it. But for me personally, I had all my dreams answered when I was doing that show. Everything that I ever wanted was at my fingertips by being on that show. I didn't realize that we were a low budget. My mom, she told me that she was gonna get me a pony if I ever got a TV series. The day I signed the contracts, I went out that day and got a pony. So I was in a I had a pony, I was on a television series. We were on sets that were like out of this world, crazy, cool. And people were like really like fussing and nice and happy around me. It was like, what budget? I had no clue about, budgets. I was just, like I said, all my dreams had come true.
And every celebrity in the world wanted to be on our set. Elton John would stop in, Stallone would stop in, Charo came, and Charo is chasing Chaka around in the jungle. I'm not kidding. Everybody you can imagine. It's Ron Howard and that whole gang were filming next door. For Happy Days. They were there. Deidre Hall from Daddy Girl Electra Woman, right? So and Deidre comes up to me and she says, "Hey Wesley, listen, I've got an audition for Days of Our Lives." And I said, "I know what they're looking for." So we worked on a script together. She's still the granddad to this day is Dr. Marlena on Days of Our Lives. Not that I got her the job, but there she is, Deidre Hall. It was quite a little community back then. And back then, I was doing 16 Magazine and Tiger Beat and those kind of covers and things like that. And that whole group of of teen idol kind of guys, we were all pals. Sean Cassidy used to come swimming in my house. Leif Eric. Oh, yeah, Eric. Leif Eric, yeah. The Viking, he used to come all the time. He discovered America. But I mean, all those guys, we would do all these shoots together and things like that. It was quite a lovely little community back then.
Do you know I was on Tiger Beat? Are you on Tiger Beat?
Are you eating while you're talking in front of everyone?
You know who?
I could have used an air conditioner.
Do you know who I was in Tiger Beat with?
Who?
Johnny Whitaker.
We love Johnny Whitaker, Sigmund the Sea Monster and Family Affair. Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a drug counselor now, works in prisons, and he's an extraordinary guy. Just did a show with Johnny and Marty Gras. So, thank you. Great question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
And yes.
Hi, thank you for coming. My question to y'all is, what are some of your favorite sci-fi shows?
Oh boy, I am such a sci-fi freak. Give me Star Trek any day. Oh my God. We did Match Game. I don't know if anybody was at the Match Game last night. Oh my, we had so much, right, with Garrett. It was from Voyager. I was fanboying. I was like, oh my God, look at what it is, it's Ensign Kim, from Voyager. And and Walter Koenig, Chekhov, who created Enoch and wrote the first episode of Enoch. Kathy and I do the Star Trek convention every year, and we're the only show that Star Trek allows in other than Star Trek because of all of our amazing connections with Mike Westmore and David Gerald and everyone. And Walter comes by our booth every year. He's got his hat on. He's kind of shuffles these days. And Walter shuffles down. Those damn sick Marty Croft. I should have gotten residuals for Enoch. I should have gotten residuals.
Do we have any other audience questions? Okay, come on up, come on up.
These questions are great, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, did you see what that guy
Oh,
did
my
right there?
We're
Oh,
teddy bears
I know, that is hysterical. But,
I want to know what ultimately caused the end of the show.
Well, I think it was the jumping the shark moment. I think the third season became, it was like, who's the guest star this week? It wasn't the great sci-fi. I mean, it was sad. And, Ron Harper was fine. It wasn't the same chemistry that Spencer was. I mean, Spencer this day, as I said, this is your Baba speaking. And Kathy and Spencer had a connection. The connection you see as a family was real on the show.
I got to tell him, I said, growing up, I heard all these girls that used to say, my dad does this, and then they had like a dad day at school where the kids got to be, introduce their father and be, proud of what their dad's, job was or whatever, and I never had that. But I said, the day I got Land Lost, so when I say all my dreams came true, he was like an immediate protector and father figure for me. And I told him, like when I was, 50 years old or something, that, you know what, you were my dad. And I get to say that, and I get to say it to you that I'm proud that you're my dad, But yeah. Once again, that full circle thing, being able to tell people what they mean to you, it's really important.
And it's amazing for real. I know a lot of cast listen. I know you guys have been around the cons a lot, and you see casts that don't quite like each other. You can tell. And it's truly that not only does Sid Marty Krofft cast our TV family, but they cast my real life family. And we are all genuinely involved in each other's lives in a very loving way. And, a deep way, not superficial at all, not like, hey, how you doing kind of thing. We are very much Kathy is truly my sister, and we share the most intimate details of our lives, and we go through the ups and downs together. So it's extraordinary that experience happened. And that's one of the reasons I think that Land of the Lost holds up as opposed to all the other versions, the Will Ferrell, the 80s version and things like that, is because there was a real chemistry. That was a family.
I think we're going to, as we're heading towards the end, the three people we have in line right now, you will be our last three people, so we have time to get to your questions. So we'll go to the next.
Well, that's a good segue. I don't actually have a question. I just wanted you guys to know by the time the show went off the air, I was 4 years old. So I was watching reruns at 4, 5, 6 probably. And I just wanted you guys to know that you guys were a really fun memory from my childhood.
Yes.
You guys and a couple other shows. I have fond memories of watching the show. I'm down in Grandpa's house. I stayed with them a lot. I just wanted you guys to know that you were a really happy part. Some good memories of my childhood. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Do you know of any other mediums, like animation or audio, that might suit telling the stories of Land of the Lost in today's world?
We've had so many people ask about doing fan shows, fan versions, and comic. I wish the comic books. They turned down, Sid Marty Krofft turned down a comic book thing, and I know people keep pitching it to me and stuff like that, but I wish they would open up if you have an idea, call Marty Krofft. They're always looking for money. And,
I called somebody there, I'll get right on it.
The guy that promoted the reunion show made those collector cards, and we have those at our table. They've got Spencer's autograph on them and everything. Got like 22 signatures.
Yeah. But I wish we get it all the time. I wish they'd let us do fan movies and stuff like that, and things like that, like Star Trek does. And we've had so many. A gentleman we were together, Star Trek. He wrote a book, a whole other Land of the Lost book, and he illustrated himself and gave us copies and things like that. So we wish. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. As much as New York is Sid and Marty Krofft, did you get a chance to go to the weird-ass Sid and Marty Krofft amusement park that they had here in Atlanta for like 6 months?
No, we didn't. I was so mad they didn't invite us. I know it's at the CNN, right? Building.
Yeah, okay.
But I was in San Francisco at the wharf one day, and I was just walking down the sidewalk, and there was one of those wooden stands, those A stands, you know? And there was a picture of Wesley and I on it. And I was like,
Surprise.
that is the weirdest thing, you know? Like they had like this, and then a picture of Wesley and I. And it turns out, you know the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride kind of set up at Disneyland where you go in like, and it's just a flat facade on the front, but there's a whole ride that goes on behind the scenes. It was like a ride like that. I wrote it. And it was like big psychedelic, you know, peace and love kind of flowers in there, and you go around a corner, and it was Sid and Marty Krofft stuff, but it had our photo on the little A.
It is so odd. I mean, like I said earlier on eBay, you see things that we have never seen with our picture on it, our drawings and stuff like that. It's a very strange thing. I mean, it's fun. Listen, you know, I'm thrilled. But,
Do we have anybody in the room who went to the World of Sid and Marty Krofft here in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yes, anyone else?
Yeah,
Just you.
the Crystal Carousel, the human pinball
Can
machine.
you, if you're comfortable, could you get on the mic and say a little bit about what you remember? If you'd rather not, that's fine.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, I was probably,
Okay.
Just saying that's a long time ago.
This was a long time ago,
Yeah.
yes it was. But I'm very jealous of you because I would have loved
I
to
remember,
have seen it. You know, we were talking about that just this morning on an earlier panel about on the Krofft Super Show, which came out a couple years after we ended the opening of it, where you see the band Captain Coleman Cons. There's a little bit of video that was shot at the World of Sid and Marty Krofft, and that's some of the only video that exists. There's very little surviving video of that amazing theme park.
You know, it's amazing the Cross really thought they were going to be the next Walt Disney.